Alright, guys, welcome to episode 4 of our Vrchat Avatar Creation series. Alright, so what we need to do from here, we've got our model brought into Unity. We can see that she looks nothing like what she did in Blender at the moment. We have that from last episode, if you don't remember. That's a quick recap of what our model looked like. Um, what we need to do from here is we need to put a shader on her to make her actually look nice. Now, what is probably one of the more common shaders used currently at the moment, or what I know a lot of people are actually using, it's called Pyome's shader. So to get Pyome's shader, you're probably going to need to find his Discord. I've been lucky enough to find it through, I think Google actually is where I found it from originally. I will post their invite if they're cool with it in the description. You're going to need to navigate down to, it should be free shader release down here, downloads and assets. Okay. And the most current one at this point in time is Pyomi Toon version 5.1.14. It's a Unity package. We're just going to download that now. Right. Once that is done, we will go to our downloads folder. Okay, there is our shader there. I'll just refresh this in case it's not fully there. Cool. All right, so we're just gonna double click. We're gonna open up, and we have our Pyomi Toon shader. So you may remember from, I think it was episode 2 where we sourced the models, that there was actually a Pyomi Toon shader included with one of the models we got off VRC mods. However, I wouldn't recommend using the shader there if you can help it. Just because it's better for you to get the proper releases. That way, you know, there's nothing hidden within inside these packages or anything, or within the shaders and scripts and stuff. All that sort of lovely hoo-ha. So, all right, import. Once again, it's probably worthwhile checking what you're actually importing. This time it should be fine. We've got an extra window that's popped up there. That's fine. It's importing all these textures with the shader. Just going to let it keep running through. We're going to actually make up a folder for the shaders as well, just to make sure that everything's all nice and neat. Shader editor successfully installs. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what's going on there. What's the extras? Okay. Alright. So, back in our assets folder here, we've now got this Pyomi shader folder. I'm actually going to make up one so I don't clutter things called shaders. Sometimes this can destroy a shader moving it into there, but this particular time I'm just going to do it because I know that this one works fine as long as it's there. It just once again helps keep everything nice and clean here on your main screen. So we're going to go back to our Mika Arc one. We've got our model here. What we need to do before we sort of start working on the model for Vrchat is we need to rig the model. So we're going to go across here to rig. We're going to change its animation type from a generic into a human so it moves like a human, and we're going to apply that. Let's Vrchat know that that's how we want the model to actually move. Okay, this will all take a little bit of time. Sometimes it's quicker for other people. Typically, it's a lot quicker when it's a newer project. When I say a newer project, a fresh Unity. I tend to find after a long period of time with working with Unity, the more stuff you have in it, the slower it can become. So, just waiting for it. Awesome. Okay, so it's done. So we'll tick this. We're going to go configure. Alright, So this is what tells Vrchat. These are all the bones that are doing what for the model, like what's supposed to be what. So now you need to go through and make sure that these are all correct. So the only thing that we need to check here, I've noticed, is it doesn't have a chest bone, which seems very irregular. Most of the time they do have chest bones. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either find it from the list over here. These are all your bones over here. I find that very hard to navigate sometimes. So if you click the little eye here, alright, you'll get a separate window like this open up. And normally if you type in, see, we've got chest there. We can actually type in chest. Okay, don't worry if there's not an upper chest, that's fine. You can actually see now there's a connecting green line between that, which is good. The only other thing, oh, we don't have a left toe either, apparently, for some reason. We've got the bone, I believe. Let me just go back to Blender and quickly have a look. Yeah, there's a left toe bone there, that's for sure. So what we're going to do is the same thing again. We're going to click here. Now remember it's on the left hand side and we want the toe. So we're going to go left. Did it bring it up? Yeah, there it is there. Left toe. Okay, sometimes it's automatic. It's why it's always good to check. The only other thing that normally have to check is if we go to the head. Yep, here's something here. So we do not need a jawbone. At the moment, it's actually got a piece of hair attached as the jawbone. That's going to be an issue. What'll happen is when you talk, the piece of hair will move. We don't want that. So easy way to fix that is if you just click in there, hit the delete button on your keyboard, and that removes it. Doesn't delete the bone or anything like that, don't stress, it just removes it from that part. Everything else looks fine. Neck, head, left eye, right eye. Just quickly browse over the fingers. Yep, they're all correct. Yep, everything's all there. Once you're done, click apply. Let it do its little bit. While we're here waiting, you can actually see down the bottom here, all these little spheres, they're the materials that are used on our avatar at the moment. So, that's what we change with shaders to make them look nice, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Once that's done and the button's released, all you need to do is click done. Okay, so she's ready to be put into our project. So to do that, all we do is we bring her up here and drop her into under this where it says sample scene. Okay, she's now here on our screen. So once again, to navigate, scrolly wheel in and out, right mouse button rotates you left to right, and middle mouse this time does it. So it's a little bit opposite to Blender, as in like with the other one, middle mouse mill, I think actually was rotational, whereas right mouse button was left to right, I think, from memory. I could be wrong. But you can see a model still looks like a possessed demon. So what we're going to actually do here, so we're going to click on our FBX down here. This is the way that I find easiest to get our materials out. We're going to go to this material tab up here. We're going to change it to legacy materials. Okay, and we're going to click apply. By doing this, what it's going to do is it's going to bounce out all the material orbs that are used on the model or within the model into a folder for us and make it a lot easier for us to work on. Once again, just reminding you guys, this is what I find the easiest way to do what we're trying to do. So now you'll notice we have a new folder. This folder is called materials. So if we open this up, we have all of our materials here. At the moment, they are a standard shader. Now, there's people out there that'll say, yeah, standard shaders are the best way to go. They're more optimized. I find they're very limited because I don't find them, easy to navigate. So all I'm going to do is highlight them all like so. I'm going to go up to where it says shader standard, and I'm going to change it to Pyomi. This particular case, I'm going to change everything to a cutout shader. So Pyomi, Toon, Advanced, and Cutout. Okay, there's a lot of different options of shaders you can use that'll all give you different results. I can already see that there's some issues here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through here. I want to check out this one to start with. It's white, that's fine. So, oh yeah, it did go on there. So now if you want to put these on your model, all you do is you click and drag them up onto there like so. Okay, so why didn't that get the back of the hair? I feel like this is missing something. Yeah, I just dragged it onto the face. Same thing again, if you ever make a mistake, Control Z. What does she look like in Blender? Oh, okay, so she's got like a brown over the hair for that. So let's go back to that. So that's probably this one here that's gone transparent. Is okay. So this for some reason has gone transparent. So what we can do here is click in this color and alpha part. This is actually a new wheel. I think it's to do with the saturation of it, because I want it to be visible. And then, yeah, see the coloring is really odd. I don't like that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create our own material orb for the hair. So let's delete that. Okay, you'll notice it's gone pink. That means it does not have a material attached to it. So to create a brand new one, we're going to right click, go create, and material. I'm going to name it hair. Now that's one other thing we can probably do too, is we can actually come through and rename a lot of these to make sure that they're actually there correctly. I'm going to, so now there's a couple of different ways you can bring up your actual correct hair texture or a hair texture. You can either come across here, we're going to change actually first to Pyomi's Toon shader, cut out. You can come across here where it says main, expand it down, and so you have this texture part here. You can click the little dot, and that'll bring up any available textures you have within your project. It hasn't picked up. Oh, here we go. Here's some hair here. So your hair typically looks like these. There's like a blue one there, and then there's a brown one there. So if I click that, all right, now we drag this up into the hair. There we go. So we've actually got some hair. I don't know if that'll work on. Oh, it does. You know what? Let's change that to that, because I think that looks a lot nicer. Okay, so even though this was what was there, we're actually using this one here because it actually looks nicer. So we can in turn delete this. Okay, so these are our clothes. Yep, they look fine. I don't see a problem with them at all. What's she gonna look like in the dark? Oh, that's the light. So she's got some shadowing on her. That's fine. And that's without shadowing, so that's the dark. Alright. So the only thing is we don't have a face. You've probably noticed. To fix that, I think that's the face there actually. Yeah, it is. Okay. So if you click on that, your face textures will basically look like that. So we can drag that up onto the face. Oh, onto the face. There we go. And typically they contain the eyes as well on most of your models, so you should be able to sometimes you might need to zoom in and get it on a different angle. It's actually, I know for a fact it's going to be this one, so yeah. Let's do some renaming. Let's call it face. Skin's fine. All the UVs are hair. As for these uwus, I'm going to delete it and see. Okay, so uwu was actually the eye for some reason. Alright, so let's make up a new one again. So let's go create material. Let's call it eyes. Alright, let's change it to a Pyomi to advanced and cutout. Okay. I use cutout mainly. You can use there's other ones in there like transparents and stuff. And you know what? I kind of want these purple heart eyes here. So these are like your facial textures. They always look like this normally. There we go. That's now got some eyes on it. So you'll notice actually if I drag it over the face, it actually changes the way that the face looks. So if I wanted more of a nose on the model, I could drag that on there. Which actually I don't mind that either. That doesn't look too bad. Okay. So we now have our model. She has a face. She's textured. She's all alright to go. So what do we need to do from here? So there's a couple of things more that we need to do to allow this to move correctly and do what it needs to do in Vrchat. So over here on your left, this refers to your hierarchy in your scene. Okay, this is the scene, this is the hierarchy, and then this is obviously your contents, I guess we could say. Assets, there we go. If we click here on the model's name, okay, we click here on add component, and what we're going to type in is VRC, and you want to look for avatar descriptor. What the avatar descriptor does is it tells Vrchat where we should be looking from, what sort of, how we conduct ourselves, whether we walk like a male, walk like a female, not trying to be sexist or anything, but there is a tendency to how we naturally walk, to give off that sort of stuff, especially in video games. We need to change this to start with to a female. And this little orb that's now here, this is where we're looking from. So at the moment you can see it's nowhere even close to what our eyes are. So we need to play with the view position here. So if we decrease the view position down, we want it ideally just between the eyes. It should always sort of be centered towards the eyes. To know which, like X, Y, Z, like to know which way is what, you've got up the top corner here, you've got Y being up and down, Z being that left and right, and then X being that left and right. So depending on how you're looking at the model, that will obviously rotate. So we need to reduce the Z and bring it back in. So I'm going to go, so there's two ways you can move it. You can either put the numbers in, or if you click and hold on the letter, you can drag it. But I like a little bit more direct, so I'm going to go 0.09. And I probably need to come up just a fraction. So let's go 3. So it's the orb somewhat in the skin, and it's situated roughly sort of equal to where the eyes are. Okay, so we now have the viewing of our avatar, or how we see from our avatar set up. We need to set up so the mouth moves correctly. To do that, we're going to go down here to where it says lip sync, and we're going to select Viseme blend shape. Okay, so now we've got this new option here that's popped up called face mesh. From that, we're going to click the little arrow on the next to our model here. Okay, so it expands these two out. So we've got armature and body. We're going to click and drag body over here. Okay, so this one's actually automatically filtered out, which is great. So it's saying whenever you make the SL noise, she's going to do the shape for SIL, PP, right through all the letters. If for some reason that this side didn't automatically fill out, all you need to do is click the list and you select through these VRC whatever bits, like say VRC dot V underscore SIL. So it should be automatically. You used to have to manually put those in each time. It was very annoying. All right, very last thing before we upload her. we want to put, so this is also for a bit of future references as well. We need to do this custom override controller as well. So if you type in here, override, okay, uh, you'll get this controller here. So what this does is it controls all the animations for when we, like, if you ever played the game before, if you're on desktop, you hold shift and you go through your F keys, or if you're playing on VR and you go through your hand gestures, this controls all of that. So by default, it'll, even if you've got nothing over here, it'll do all your standard issue idles and your finger gestures like victory, thumbs up, um, open hand, handgun, fist, finger point, all that sort of stuff. Later on in the more advanced stuff, I will show you how to do your own custom animations for all those extra bits and pieces, as well as like your custom emotes and stuff like that. You That'll be, yeah, because once again we're doing from the basics. So what you need to do from here is you need to duplicate this folder. Don't ever use the original, because it's always better to duplicate things per model. Select it, go Control plus D, will duplicate it, it'll create you a copy. You can check the name of it over here, so custom override empty number 1, so the original being 0. Then we're going to drag it from here into our Mika Arc Order folder. So the folder that we've got our model in, basically. So you'll have your model, you'll have your controller for that model, your materials and your textures. Everything's all together there. What we then need to do is go back and click up here on our Mika model name, and we're going to drag this controller into these slots here. Okay. Now we're ready to go. We're ready to upload our model. So at the moment, these parts are all going to be pretty stiff because we haven't added a thing called dynamic bones to it. That'll come with the advanced tutorial. I'm just showing you how to once again get the model from DeviantArt to Blender to Unity to Vrchat. So to upload her, we're going to click on Vrchat SDK. You're going to need to sign in, okay, with your Vrchat account username and password. Then we're going to go to Builder. This has actually come up with some errors. That's fine. So, minimap textures. Okay, let's automatic lighting is enabled. Yeah, okay, that doesn't matter. Let's go auto fix. Okay, lower arm is not the parent first child. That's fine. Sometimes you'll get things like that that'll pop up. Overall performance is poor. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you're going to find 90% of them are going to be like that unless we get into more advanced stuff. So the polys is good. It's happy with the polys being 64,000. Skin mesh renders. No dynamic bones. So yeah, it's not too bad. So just make sure so. So it's only the bone count. So the bone count, it's got 393 bones out of 75, and that's the reason for that is when you look at the dress there, like it's got a lot of bones all down the back and that sort of stuff. And later on, we'll get into optimizing and stuff like that. But now that we're done, we just go build and publish. It will take a moment. Sometimes it'll actually even ask you to save the scene, which I'm surprised it hasn't asked me to do that yet. One other thing when it comes to avatar creation, I don't know if they've fixed it yet, I don't think they have, is that you need a VR chat account, not a Steam VR account, like Steam VR chat account. You can't upload avatars, I don't believe, if you have a VR chat account created through Steam, not VR chat's website itself, if that makes sense. There is ways to port those back and forth, but let's let this keep going. Yep, awesome. Okay, so now we've got our new scene down here. Oh, this is going to be like this. Hang on, let me just drag this tab up to the top here. We create a name. I'm just going to call it YouTube. You can select whether you need content warnings on there. You can put a description in. You can change it if you want a public or private. I'll just keep a private for the moment. And now, say if, for example, too, you wanted to move the camera around because you wanted a close up of a face, we're going to go back to scene to start with. You've got the VRC cam here. All right, you get a little display picture down here. If you navigate around and grab these arrows here, you can actually change where it's looking at the model. Um, so you've got a movement tool, a rotational tool, a resize tool. So say if I wanted to angle it a little bit, I click on the rotational tool, I can grab my lines here and be like that, and rotate it a little bit to the side and up and whatever you want to do with it. There's ways that you can get backgrounds and stuff all in there and that, but I'll do that in another one. So once we're happy with that, we're going to click back up here to game again, and we're going to click above information is accurate, rights to upload the content to Vrchat, tick, and upload. While that's starting up, I'm going to open Vrchat as soon as that bothers to do that. Good old Steam. And with this, guys, once this is uploaded, it'll upload really quick too if you don't have a lot of content on the actual model. So at the moment, because it's a very basic model, she doesn't have a lot of content to her. So I need to open my library so I can see Vrchat. Alright, while that's uploading, I am just going to open Vrchat in desktop mode. Just so we can see, because once we're done here, guys, we're like I said, we've done. We've created our avatar. It's uploading at the moment. She may be very basic, but we've made her. So while that's still uploading, I'm gonna attempt to drag Vrchat across to the other screen if it wants to play game. Good old Vrchat stealing my mouse off me every 5 seconds. Cool. There we go. So update complete, launch Vrchat to see your uploaded content. Okay. So I'm just going to go to a little lag. Go to the avatar testing world. As soon as it bothers to load. Okay, avatar testing, new instance. I'm just going to do private one. Oh god, I wasn't even in and I already got a thing. It's obviously been a little bit since I've been to the avatar testing world. Alright, so here we are in the avatar testing world, guys. We're going to head up to the mirror and we're going to load into our new avatar and then see how she looks. Alright, avatar, YouTube, and change. Let it load up. Once the bar disappears above our head, we should be right. No idea why this is taking so long. My internet's just being a bit garbage at the moment. Apologies. See if I can. Oh, there we go. And there we have it. So she's here in Vrchat. She has eye tracking. See, she's blinking and she will adjust her eyes accordingly. And the mouth moves correctly. So there you go. You've got your very basic avatar. And if we, I think, go through there, it might be a bit hard to see, but maybe. So you got the arm bits sticking up at the moment because we've got no weighting to it. But pretty sure if we go through, yep, we've got all the hand gestures. There you go, guys. So that was creating an avatar in a very basic form from pretty much scratch to finish. That was downloading your programs, sourcing your avatars, importing them into Blender, doing whatever pre-requirements we needed to do, bringing it into Unity, adding textures, and uploading it to VRChat. And that's pretty much avatar creation in a nutshell from a very basic form. I will start on season 2 a little bit later when I work out what direction I want to take with it. Do leave me some feedback, guys, and some comments on what you guys would like to know. It lets me know what content I should be pumping out for you guys in terms of creation stuff, and I will work on a more advanced one where we can talk about swapping body parts and changing hairstyles and understanding like extra bits that you can do with a shader and stuff like that. Like we might want to put like glitter through the hair and stuff like that, or we might want to make certain parts glow or look a little bit different. But yeah, this is model creation in a nutshell. I hope you guys liked it. Do make sure to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, all this sort of good stuff, you know. It lets me know that you guys love these videos, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Alright, thanks very much, guys. Bye.